Imagine reaching the very top of your profession, the award every mathematician dreams of, worldwide respect, a permanent place in history. And then you simply say no. In 2006, that's exactly what one man did. His name was Grigori Perelman. He rejected the highest honor in mathematics. But to understand why, we have to start much earlier. In the summer of 2006, a British mathematician boarded a flight to St. Petersburg, Russia. He wasn't a journalist. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't a businessman. He was John Ball, president of the International Mathematical Union. His mission was simple: convince Grigori Perelman to accept the Fields Medal. For 2 days, the two men talked. For more than 10 hours, John Ball explained why the award mattered, not just to mathematics, but to the world. When the conversations ended, nothing had changed. Perelman still refused. John Ball flew home empty-handed. It remains one of the most extraordinary moments in the history of modern mathematics. Who was this man? And why would anyone reject the greatest honor their profession could offer? Grigori Perelman was born in 1966 in Leningrad, then part of the Soviet Union. From an early age, it was clear that he was different. His mother, who taught mathematics, encouraged his curiosity. While many children spent their afternoons playing outside, Perelman was happiest solving problems. He loved patterns. He loved logic. Most of all, he loved thinking. In 1982, at just 16 years old, he represented the Soviet Union at the International Mathematical Olympiad. He won a gold medal with a perfect score. Among young mathematicians, his reputation grew almost overnight. He later entered Leningrad State University, where he devoted himself to geometry, a subject that would shape the rest of his life. As a young researcher, Perelman quickly impressed mathematicians around the world. In 1994, at the age of 28, he solved the famous Soul Conjecture, a long-standing problem in differential geometry. The proof was elegant. It immediately established him as one of the brightest geometers of his generation. Leading universities invited him to the United States. He conducted research at the Courant Institute of New York University, Stony Brook University, and the University of California, Berkeley. Many believe they were watching the rise of a future legend. No one expected him to disappear. In November 2002, something remarkable happened. Perelman uploaded a paper to an online research archive called arXiv. There was no press conference, no media interviews, no announcement, just a paper. Then, a few months later, another, then a third. Together, they addressed one of the greatest unsolved problems in mathematics, the Poincaré Conjecture. For nearly a century, some of the world's greatest mathematicians had tried to solve it. All had failed. The problem had become one of the Clay Mathematics Institute's 7 Millennium Prize problems, carrying a reward of $1 million. At first, many mathematicians simply couldn't believe the proof was correct. It seemed too extraordinary. So they began checking every detail, every argument, every page. Research teams across the United States, Europe, Russia, and Asia devoted years to studying Perelman's work. Slowly, a consensus emerged. The proof was correct. One of the greatest mathematical mysteries of the 20th century had finally been solved. In 2006, the International Mathematical Union made its decision. Grigori Perelman would receive the Fields Medal. Often described as the highest honour in mathematics, it is awarded only once every 4 years. For generations of mathematicians, it has represented the dream of a lifetime. John Ball personally travelled to Russia, hoping to persuade Perelman to attend the ceremony. They spoke for 2 days, for more than 10 hours. But Perelman never changed his mind. When the International Congress of Mathematicians opened in Madrid, thousands of mathematicians gathered to celebrate the world's greatest achievements. One person was missing: the winner himself. Grigori Perelman did not attend. He became the first person in history to voluntarily decline the Fields Medal. The mathematical world was stunned. Some admired his principles. Others simply couldn't understand his decision. But everyone agreed on one thing: they had never seen anything like it. For most people, success means recognition, awards, titles, fame. Perelman seemed to want none of them. After rejecting the Fields Medal, he returned to a quiet life in St. Petersburg. He rarely gave interviews. He stayed away from conferences. He slowly disappeared from public view. The world kept asking the same question: why? What could possibly matter more than becoming one of the most celebrated mathematicians alive? The answer would come 4 years later. Another prize awaited him. This one was worth $1 million. Surely no one would refuse that, right? They were wrong. In our next episode, we'll explore the real reason Grigori Perelman rejected the $1 million Millennium Prize. It wasn't because he didn't understand its value. And it wasn't simply because he didn't care about money. The real story is far more complicated and far more human. If you enjoy true stories about extraordinary minds and world-changing discoveries, consider subscribing. Because sometimes the greatest mysteries aren't mathematical at all. They're human.